Well, welcome to another episode of Math Snacks with Miss Glovely and Miss Wonderful. Have you ever heard of the lattice method, Miss Glovely, of doing multiplication?
Oh, I was going to say yes until you said multiplication because I have lattices on the top of my pies. You know, the lattice crust.
Oh, yes. That's a neat thing to think about. I've never thought. What does the pie look like?
Well, like this. Like that?
Cool. We're going to use something kind of like that to multiply numbers today.
Wow. Will it taste as good as my pie, though?
It may not taste quite as good, but it may even be better.
Oh, okay.
Because I have had a son who, by golly, multiplying numbers, he could never keep his lines straight. He had horrible handwriting.
I have some people like that in my house as well.
Well, his horrible handwriting, sorry, son, I'm not mentioning any names.
That's good.
But the lattice method saved him. In fact, he still uses the lattice method to multiply numbers together now.
And how old is he now?
He is now 19 years old.
And he still uses
this?
this?
Still uses this.
Excellent.
So, you ready for me to...
I want you to show me this.
Okay, give me a problem.
Do you want a two-digit number to multiply to start with?
Sure.
Okay, let's do 15 times 31.
15 times 31. Because I'm doing a two-digit number by a two-digit number, you could do this with graph paper, or there is a special paper called lattice paper that my son just sketches it out.
Okay.
So because it is a 15 by 31, I'm going to make my grid so it has a 2, so I can put the 1 and the 5 here.
Okay.
And the 3 and the 1 here.
All right.
Remembering this is really 10 and a 5 and a 30 and a 1.
Okay.
The lattice method really just helps kids line up their numbers a little bit better.
Okay.
So after I draw this, I have a 15 by 31. I'm going to start, and I'm just going to start drawing my lattices, much like your pie.
And diagonals.
Diagonally, like this.
Cool.
And all it really does is give me a way so I can be thinking about lining up my numbers.
So this assumes I know my multiplication facts.
Yes, you need to know your multiplication. But you only really need to know your basic multiplication facts for this to work.
Okay.
So what is 5 times 3?
15.
So I'm going to put the 1 here and the 5 here.
Okay.
What's 5 times 1?
5.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, we have a problem. But we can't write 5 here.
Because that would be
50. So we really have to put the 5 and a 0
So my 0 is a placeholder.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. And what's 1 times 3?
That would be 3.
Okay.
Placeholder again, eh?
A placeholder again, because we don't want it to say 30.
All right.
And 1 times 1 is?
1.
Okay. So once we get that grid filled in, we need to then add diagonally.
Okay.
So we add down here and we get
5.
We add, this is really now a 10 when we get to, because this is the ones. 5 and 1 is?
6, but you're saying that's the 10, so that's 60.
65.
Okay.
3 and 1 and 0.
And I'm multiplying or adding?
You're adding.
4.
Okay.
And 0 would be 0.
So 15 times 31 is
465. That's cool.
Why
don't you show me another one?
Okay, what would you like me to try this time? Let's go something different than two-digit by two-digit.
How about 3-digit by 2? Will it work with a 3 and a 2?
Sure.
Okay, let's do a 3-digit by 2-digit, and you pick this time.
Okay. How about 283 times 61?
Okay.
This time, because I've got a 3 by a 2, I'm going to draw my little lattice grid a little differently.
Okay.
I'm going to actually make it look more rectangular. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to put my 3-digit number up here. 283 times 61.
Okay.
Would you like to draw the diagonals on this?
Okay, I'll do that. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go beyond here because I have to have the...
Because you're going to write your number in there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little harder
little
because it's not a
trickier.
square.
Am I right so far?
You're doing great.
Okay.
Okay, so and it doesn't even matter where you start on this grid because you know here you're going to do 2 times 6.
So that'd be 12. So if I work better from left to right, top to bottom, like we read, I could start that way.
You sure could.
Okay,
8 times 6.
48. And 3 times 6 is 18.
Okay. And 2 times 1?
Would be 2. Whoa, that's not where that goes. Is it?
Oh.
It goes out here.
You're right. That's a 2. How about 8 times 1?
8.
And 3 times 1?
3.
Okay. Got ahead of myself there.
That's all right.
Okay, now, as we're looking at that, then we go ahead and we add it.
So you'd have a 3 and a 16.
Oh, no, we got a problem with 16.
Yes, you do, because you can't put 2 digits in that spot. So do you have to carry your 1?
You do. You put your 6 down just like we do in other addition, and that 1 actually comes over here. But you got to remember, that's not an 11 now.
Right, that's
It's
just
another 1.
That's a 1. So it's
2, 8, 1, and 1.
So we would have 12.
Okay.
Now we're going to carry
That
a 1
same
again.
problem, right? And sometimes people put them in other places so they don't confuse them, but as long as it's in that line.
That would be 7 and a 1. So
Okay.
283 times 61 must be 17,263.
That is correct.
Cool.
Okay. And that is what they use a lot in everyday mathematics called the lattice method. And I'm sure there's other places that use this method as well.
That's very cool. I'm impressed. And it doesn't probably taste as good as my pie, but it's probably pretty helpful.
It's very helpful for those students who have a hard time lining it up. Because like I said, I always thought this would be really hard because I thought, well, his handwriting's not so great, so how's he going to keep that all straight? But somehow he's able to do it.
Well, I'm proud, and I'm glad that at 19 he still has a system that works for him.
So, well, thank you for joining us in another episode of Math Snacks with Miss Lovely and Miss Wonderful. Join us again.